We always like to bring something new to the Open Championship, and this year is no exception. In fact, this innovation is a little bit extra special. It is the Sky Scope. Sounds complicated, but it's anything but. It's really cool, and it will change not only the way you view a player's golf swing, but the way they will, and also the way they'll work on it. Let's go and take a look.
That's where I hit from.
As with any trip to the golf course, the first stop always has to be the pro shop, right? But in this case, it's the Sky Scope Pro Shop. This one's a little bit different though. Still all the clubs, all the different manufacturers, but all the manufacturers are the top players in the world, the 148th Open competitors coming into the Sky Scope. This is what they will have. So you can see the names of some of the players, the exact clubs they use. Dustin Johnson, for instance, this is his driver. This is the one he used when we captured the image of him. You can see the little motion sensors on the club. This was his club. But what's it all about? Let's go and find out. So this is where the magic happens. We've collected our club from the pro shop, and now we're into, well, the magic room of Sky Scope. This is where we capture the images. You can see green everywhere you look, as well as a whole lot of cameras, 120 to be precise. So what's it all about? Well, it is volumetric capture integrated with motion capture. Sounds quite complicated, but what it effectively means is that we can now see in augmented reality, which means we can bring the virtual world into the real world. Now, you've seen that before in the open zone where we do the tee times and the guys walk up alongside us when you know they're not really there. They're on the practice ground or on the golf course already. This will take a massive gallery. Francesco Molinari alongside Tiger Woods. This one's different though, because this now means we can look at their golf swing and not just look at it in a traditional way, which is amazing for us, but also for the players involved. Let me show you what I mean. So they've come in here, they've whooshed away their golf swing, stood on this lovely little line. Very simple to do, very easy to do.
Start with the club on the X here. Yeah. Eye line to that white piece of paper. Take a beat, step up to the line, do the address. If you step up to this line and pick your own mark there, basically. Action! And cut! Back in.
So that was Padre going through the whole process, and in the end of it all, this is what you're left with. So this is my hologram in augmented reality, and it allows me to be able to look at my swing from so many different angles. You can see even by me just even crouching down, I get a very different look at my swing. So I'm looking at it from face on here as well, which is a really cool thing to do. But you say, well, I can do that normally anyway. What you can't do is obviously be able to change the focus, size of what I look at. But most importantly, and the bit I think is really cool about this, really fun for us to look at home, the ability to be able to turn the golfer around. And for me in particular, the release pattern. When would you ever get to see from this angle in the golf swing? So I can see the way that I release the club through the ball. And you know what? I don't like what I'm looking at, but I do like the information that it can give me. Gives us the opportunity to look at the golf swing from a whole new way, which is great for us at home, but also for these players to get to understand their golf swing a little bit better. The technology is amazing, but it's also super cool as well. This is truly a game changer. One of the stars at Royal Portrush is Henrik Stenson, with open pedigree, a past champion and a great ball striker, one of the very best in the world. And we want to bring you a world's first right now in the open zone using Sky Scope technology. And that allows me to take Henrik from out there and bring him in here with us now, and the opportunity to look at his golf swing from all angles. Never been done before, and a pretty cool way to see how he does what he does so well. So let's take a look at it from face on first of all. Everything looks pretty bog standard there. Nice setup, a little bit wider than most with the stance, but he's a big guy. That's how he likes to be. A strong foundation. Very neutral with the shaft angle there going up towards his middle, but it's what happens next to initiate the start of the backswing. That is key. So just watch closely here. There's a little bump forwards of the hands, and that's a trigger for him. Believe it or not, we think of it as something that is key to Henrik Stenson. He's trying to get rid of it. Speaking to Pete Cowan a little earlier on, he said it's something they're trying to get rid of. He does it less than he ever did, but still trying to eliminate it completely. However, it starts the backswing. We're going to stay here. Just check out these legs as we move to the top. all the way up to the top of the backswing, and they are almost in the same position. Now, Henrik's golf swing, a little bit of a throwback, to be fair. So often with the modern day players, we see them want to get into that right side, allow the hips to move, and you see the left leg kicking in, the weight into the right side. He stays way more centered, almost on top of that left leg as well. A nice coil, not to the parallel, which of course it won't be, because he has the restriction in the hips. Let's bring you around now to look down the line on Henrik. And you'll see here both knees looking towards where the ball would be. And there's really testament to the wind-up that he gets. Pete Cowan says it makes him nice and straight, maybe a little shorter than he could be, but still, accuracy is key for someone who hits it this far. The left arm, you can see cutting through the right shoulder there, a little flatter in plane than some of the players, but the key to Henrik we want to talk about, and the throwback nature. Take a look at this club face. That is what we call a little bit of toe hang. It's a tiny bit open, that club face. So many of the top players have it slightly stronger than that, which is a closed club face, and they use the body more. This one relies more on arm rotation and swing to time it up. As we move down towards the delivery, we will see, again, let's zoom in and take a little look at that club face. The toe pointing up in the sky. So many of the top players now, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, think of those guys. The face would be pointing more down at the ground, squarer to the path. So he has a little bit of rotation in the forearms to do here to square that toe up. You can see the right foot starting to kick in and push him forwards, an aggressive move through strike. And let's move around the front to take a look at something that makes Henrik Stenson Henrik Stenson. It's a key move. It's something if you show people, they would recognize that is Henrik. And look where his face is looking. The eyes are tracking in front of the ball, yet look how far the club head is still back of it. So he's released the head. So the old adage of make sure you keep your head down, absolute nonsense when you look at Henrik Stenson. It's not just him. Annika Sorenstam, David Duval, great players that have released the head early, and it makes it easier for them to make the turn. So keep the head down, not always such a great idea. Let's let him unload it through strike. And there we can see what he is working on right now with Pete Cowan, talking about marrying up the connection between the arms and the body. Let's zoom in and see where that butt end of the club is pointing right back at his middle. That is telling us that both are communicating. He is in sync and helping him to pacify that club face. His release pattern is slightly different to the modern day superstar. It's a bit of a throwback. Let's let him go on through from this point. And we're going to head around the front. Let's look at something we've never been able to do before because, well, you'd never stand in front of a golfer, right, when he's hitting a shot. We can do that right now, and you'll see evidence of that release. He's having to go from a slightly open face in the backswing and allow the forearms to rotate, square that face up, and let it start to close over on the way through. It's a throwback to what we used to see back in the day, but it works so well for him. All the way to the finish now for us, Henrik. Absolutely beautiful, and everything you expect to see from a world-class player. Poise, balance on that left foot as well, posted up on top of it. A beautiful move, great rhythm. And he is without doubt one of the best players in the game. We've sent him back out onto the golf course now, and you know what? The numbers back it up as well. The best in terms of greens in regulation on the PGA Tour last year, the best on the PGA Tour this year. When it comes to ball striking, Henrik is a hero.